This is the Topics of the Town News, and I'm Mark Zubrick, your host, and we have Tony Betancourt
How you
with us
doing?
today. So thank you, Tony, for
No problem.
participating. And I have just a few words of introduction, but I would like to welcome everyone to our local broadcast, and I can't stand these glasses. So I'm going to go back to my old eyes again. Welcome to our local broadcast. Headlines are dedicated to the taxpayers of Danvers. Woke control of Danvers schools and our small town government, we think that we are a city. Beverly Airport, blessings, or a neighborhood disaster. How to fix it. The agenda and opinions are solely by the topics of the town, host, guests, and commentators. The spread of socialism and communism, which is one and the same really, starts when people are silenced. Free speech is the first freedom citizens lose, and censorship is our enemy. We need to get some more light here because we need to be brighter, and thank you, Jack, for turning that up. Woke government and large national corporations are censoring our history and now the children's books as well. They're interjecting different ideas into our children's heads because they control the teachers' unions and the teachers themselves and the administration in our school system. Now, the best way we know how to combat this is by presenting to you our truth of what is really going on in our government. And one of the first things I would like to introduce is a clip that I received from our friends down at the bank where we're located. And Jack, there we go. Here are two friends. The bankers are hankering for a breakfast, and this is the Northeast Community Bank. And if you can put that down a little bit, Jack, these are two famous friends of Kiwanis.
Okay, I was going to say that.
Also of DCAT, because we are all associated here. So what I like to do is we have a Kiwanis breakfast, pancake breakfast
This
coming
Saturday.
up this Saturday.
Yes.
And I think it's from 9 till 4 or 9 till 5.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that.
And it is a extra special treat for our residents because that's where everybody meets.
Yes, it is. One year I went and I won, you get buy the tickets and you won something. I won a nice prize from all the Red Sox stuff and everything. It was unbelievable. So it's a good, very good venue.
So what we have today in front of us is our future in front of us, and hopefully we'll have some discussions at the Kiwanis breakfast, and people show up to express their views.
That's true.
And this is a great example. I just hope the weather is cooperative.
I hope so too.
Because,
we've been very fortunate this year with that weather, the weather.
Saturday, it's supposed to be mixed rain, snow.
Is it Saturday later though? I'm not sure exactly. I thought it was later at night.
You know what? This weathermen,
I know.
I don't know how they get paid, but
Yes.
they get paid for
Yes.
telling the untruths.
I know. We got to get one of those jobs.
Yeah, maybe we should get one of those
I got to get one of
jobs.
those jobs.
So, I
Paid
have
for lying, basically.
Yeah, I have a little clip here of the town seal. And Jack, if you can put that up, I would really like to discuss that because we have issues in our town that are not being addressed. The town of Danvers seal says if the king is unwilling, they will take control of our government. And that's how it all started with town meeting. And town is well run, but it's spending too much money. And the taxpayers cannot afford
Yes.
this high real estate taxes. And then we have the the state imposing their own little tax.
And the federal government on the other end. So
Yeah,
it's-
that's
it's
right.
a
Now,
tough situation.
today we're hearing that the town government, the federal government is going into our pocketbooks again. They're going to start taxing us with higher rates and on higher amounts of revenue. So, the specific subjects that we want to discuss today is we have two major issues. One of them is the tax budget. It's the budget of the town. And the other one is the Beverly Airport, which we'll get to at a later time. But we have a release by the governor of Massachusetts, the new governor, Maura Healey, a budget that is increasing everything. They can spend more and more. They're up to $55.5 billion. I remember that back in 2000, the budget at that time was $13 billion, and I thought that was unrealistic. So she's going to spend every penny that you donate through your taxes to the state of Massachusetts and to your town, which is not getting as much as they used to. So the Governor Healey has a big government budget, and she is in charge of big government in our state and our town. So I just hope that we do not fall into the trap of spending everything that we get. We need to have some kind of a cushion, and we are up for a budget review meeting on March 18th, I believe. And on March 18th, this will be held all in one day.
On the Saturday.
The
yeah.
entire budget is going to be discussed. So I hope that everybody gets a chance to attend this meeting, especially the town meeting members. Because right now, in our town elections that are coming up on May 2nd, we have openings or candidates for the town moderator, which Pat Frazier is running,
Now we're going to run against her.
unopposed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And then we have select board. We have two members. One select board member that Maureen is running. And I wish her luck, and I hope she comes out of her shell, because she needs to set that board in action, because
she's doing a good job, though. She's doing a
that
good job.
board is totally against the residents. School committee has two openings. Eric Crane
Oh, Eric Crane's up? Okay. I didn't know
and Josh Kipnis.
that. Is anybody running against them?
Not that I know of right now. I have looked at the
When the papers due? Do you know?
the
I'm not
papers
sure.
are due on the 21st of
March. So it's a couple weeks away.
filing deadline for papers is March 21st,
So someone could still come up.
and the ballot placement will take place on March 23rd. Final voter registration date is April 22nd.
Uh-huh.
And in-person early voting, are going to have that again, but no mail-in voting.
Right,
So
it's
that's
only-
a good thing.
I think it's only going to be one Saturday, though, I think.
One Saturday on April 22nd, and it's from 10 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
Vote by mail, not applicable at this election,
Right.
because it's a local election.
Right, I did hear that. Now, is state representative on this one or no?
No.
Okay.
They'll be on the
The-
24th
Okay, got it.
in 2024.
Okay.
What we have candidates for a 3-year term of all of the town meetings,
Okay.
and there are 8 precincts, and there are some vacancies still
Right.
on the ballot.
Those are not for the 3-year term. Those are for the later terms. I think 1 and 2-year terms. I'm on a 3-year term. I'm not up until 24.
Well, no, this
25.
this is the annual
Okay.
re-election or
Got it.
reappointment
Right. The appointment.
of each and every town meeting member for that year.
Okay.
They alternate
Well, yeah,
every 2
expire,
years.
right. 'Cause I'm
Right.
on-
So we have an obligation to go out and vote for our representatives because the budget is overflowing with funds again.
Now, are they going to do the budget? You think before we have that? Isn't the next selectment meeting? Is not going to be a budget? Is there going to be when they're going to review the budget?
They're going to review the budget one time on March 18th.
Okay, they'll be at the selectment meeting, and then.
No, that will be in the Saturday.
But don't they usually have the budget?
They used to, but they don't want to waste their time. You know, that's part of the problem. The budget is set. It's available right now, I believe, on the website.
But you should have discussion about it and stuff ahead of time.
Well, that's what happens at the selectmen's meeting. There's no discussion about the issues. They only talk about business matters, about alcohol beverage licenses. And we spent an hour and a half, 2 hours, last Tuesday, listening to the Board of Selectmen arguing about how much penalty they should provide to a license holder, which is the Mexican restaurant. And the Mexican restaurant hasn't had an incident in their lifetime since they came to this town.
Before we used to be 1 and 2 day in abeyance, but this time here, I think they wanted to make a statement that they got to follow the
Well,
law. I think that's what they did, and they did a 1-day suspension, which the 1 day is not really. I don't think it's bad, but well, for the restaurant, it might not be good.
But it's a lost business there.
Yes.
And I don't know whether they'll close totally, but they have to shut down their bar.
Now they put in. Now it's with the 1-day suspension. Now a lot of people probably pay attention to this and try to be good on it, because otherwise that's what's going to be happening from now on.
Well, there have been incidents in the past that have occurred, and they have not imposed such a tense.
Well, I think this one too. If you listen to it, I think they were more upset because they didn't cooperate with the police. I think that's why. I think that was the big
Well,
deal.
that was.
If they cooperated, I think it would have been a whole different situation.
Well, I think what happened is the bartender or the assistant manager that was on duty that night mouthed it off a little bit.
Yeah, I think
too
that's what
much.
happened, and I think.
And the selectmen got offended,
Yeah,
and the police recorded it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's why they made the statement, and they did it that way. And I guess
Well.
they have to be respectful to the police officers. So I mean, that's a good thing, I guess, really.
Well, that's another thing that
that's a good
I
thing,
have
yeah.
been looking at. As you remember, I have been tracking the number of police, fire, and the employees from the town, how that has turned over. And over the 2 years that I requested that information, there was 220 employees, whether they're fire, police, DPW.
A lot of retirements too, though, right?
Some retirements, but a lot of them have left because of the management. And that's the message that's being sent back. And I talked to a lot of those people that have resigned because they don't want to lose their pension, because if they go to another town, the pension continues
Yeah.
building up.
I know there was one of the workers on for the electric light. He went to work in Peabody, and he came back to Danvers again because Danvers is a little bit better, I guess. So
Danvers,
they do.
speaking of Danvers Electric,
no,
today we have an occurrence, we had an occurrence where some driver on Glendale Drive and the corner of Brentwood and Glendale rammed a pole, electric pole. They have been out there all day long.
Yeah, it was early this morning it happened.
And it happened around 8:30
Yes,
this morning.
Right, I heard it on the scanner.
And our lights all went out. The house got cold, so I had to put a sweater on. But those guys were there. They had all of their vehicles. I think there were 5 or 6 vehicles with buckets and
They had to replace the
crane.
pole. I think the pole
They
went right out.
replaced the
Yeah.
pole,
Oh.
and they did an excellent job. And now, when I was leaving, Xfinity and Verizon
Okay.
were standing by to put their lines back up because the electric company doesn't own them.
No, exactly, can't touch those.
So that pole is being re-rented
Let me
again.
ask you a question. How bad was the car? Did you happen to see it?
No, I did not.
It was down at Danvers Auto Body. You know that. It's
Was
the
it?
Toyota. It's not, yeah,
Well,
I didn't get a
maybe-
good look at it though. I'm gonna
Maybe
take a
I'll
look.
go by it.
Take a look.
Because no, the reason that pole snapped is that's one of the last old poles
Oh, really?
that they left in place.
They've been checking all the poles.
I know, and they've replaced all the other poles in
really?
the neighborhood
Okay.
except for that one because it's on the corner and it's a three-way
Oh, okay.
tie,
Got
and so they had to do that.
Okay.
So, congratulations, Municipal Light Board.
Let's give them a hand.
The electric company did an excellent job,
They deserve it.
and I don't do this very often, but I think they do deserve
There's
it.
a lot of good people in this town. We're very lucky.
So the one thing that I want to do is those guys, excellent job.
Even the water department. I had a problem with the water department too. They do a good job. They really do.
Yes.
They, we.
Oh, speaking of the water department, I was going to lunch with someone, as a matter of fact, on Wednesday, and Nick and Andy's
It's close.
is being renovated because of a ruptured pipe
Yes,
during that
yes.
frost, the
It's been-
freeze.
Yeah, it's been for a while. It's been for
Yeah.
a while now.
So they're into the final decorations inside. So so it
The
should
sign's,
open
the sign's
soon.
not up though. I don't know.
They took it down because everything is taken out of the building, and the carpenters were in there.
Okay.
So I walked in and I said, "Can I get a sub today?" And the carpenter was really funny. He says, "I'll go in the back room and see if I can make you one." but they were under the renovation.
Okay. I was
So-
wondering if they're going to come back because we did drive by, to check it out and stuff like that. It is closed.
So the budget is out. There are issues with the budget. The school budget,
How did
Ha-
the school come in? A lot.
4.79% increase.
So 5% basically, rounded off. You round off
5%. And the problem is that they're not reporting their grants and their state funding for COVID.
They had,
The-
they had a lot of money there, but they only spent it. to
That's
COVID.
okay, but
I know.
but that's the thing. It should be included all together.
Right.
The same thing is with the budget of the town.
How about Essex Tech? Do I dare ask?
I haven't gone to Essex Tech yet,
Oh,
but
God.
I am going because I think there's a resentment in the town hall about Essex Tech attracting so many students. And it is a charter school, and that charter school is excellent. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I have always preached is when I was on the committee for the town of Danvers for the merger of the North Shore Vocational and the Aggie, it was planned
So
to
you were
be.
there with Mr. Turigian then, basically.
And Mr. Turigian was sitting right next to me, and Mr. Turigian made sure that his
Yeah, he's
260
good,
some
man, I'm telling you.
students.
He was a real nice man.
He
I'm telling
was
you.
gentleman,
He was
and but
very
he
nice.
also he backed his residents.
Oh yeah.
He was a politician's politician
Very nice.
because
Oh,
he always defended his residents.
Yes, he did.
And that was one of the issues
Yes, he
that
did.
he wanted to contribute
Yes.
to that school.
He did a
And
good
and
job.
I've always had respect for him,
No.
but he made it happen
Oh, yeah.
for the
Yeah.
city of Peabody.
Well, you watched out for the city of Peabody.
Now we need to watch out for the city. Oh, excuse me.
Town of Danvers.
Town of Danvers.
Yes.
So, one of the things that we're going to continue talking about, and one of the things that I believe the town has not been transparent on, is that we had a $8.2 million retained from the budget of last year. They were saved. The money was saved. The money's there.
They call that free cash, right?
There's nothing free around here, Tony.
We know that, but I mean, that's
But
what they call it.
But they have an $8.2 million free cash account, which they're going to spend on whatever they want. And the town manager and the selectmen, I don't think they know where to spend it yet. But they also have an $8.7 million COVID payments that they have received from the federal and state.
Now, that's probably got to be just for COVID.
Though
no.
that's already been allocated. Don't
Really?
kid yourself. It's all on capital projects, water and sewer, and underground work. And the thing is that money is not very clear
I'm
of
hoping they
where
can use
it's going
some
to
of
be.
that for infrastructure. Our infrastructure is really falling apart.
No kidding.
I mean, really, not to be funny, but really. I mean,
And the thing is that we're debating now of where to spend that money. But the thing is,
I hope we can go for.
there's too much money floating around that the town government can disperse to different projects. They're pet projects, and I call them pet projects.
Yeah, but they got to help the taxpayers. They keep taxing us to the max, man. They got to give us a break somehow.
took
They got to
the-
use that money to take care of us somehow.
You took the words out of my mouth.
true,
Tax
man.
to the max has been a motto for many
Yes.
years in this town because the calculation for the tax rate and the tax amount is based on 2.5% increase on the real estate value that they have. And every
Feels
time
more
I
than
looked at
2.5%. I'll say that right now.
I looked at my tax bill, and this is a modest house in the town of Danvers. It's in a good neighborhood, but it's increased $300 to $350 a year,
Mine's almost 600, 5 something. Almost 600.
and the tax that should be increasing is only by 2%,
Yeah,
2.5%,
That's what I'm wondering. It doesn't
and
seem
it's
right.
always 3.5 to 4 to 5%,
Yeah,
and we're going to be hit again this year.
I know that, and I got a funny feeling that with the trash, that's going to be a nightmare. They haven't figured that out yet, right? That's
They still don't have the results of their request for proposals. And I don't know why they're
That's
dealing.
why this budget's going to be a nightmare. I mean,
Well,
it
that's-
sounds like it. I mean,
And it's all being held close to the vest. So
Yes.
we don't know about it until the last minute. So this has become a very important issue for our town meeting members
But-
because they're the only ones, and the finance committee is woke all the way. But they need to step up to the plate and say, how the heck are you going to raise
we
this
have
money?
to cut back a little bit. We're going to
That's
have to.
right.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know where to do it. But I mean,
Where they
even
can
the
do
school
it?
department they're
Across the
asking for
board,
5.
5% across the
Yeah,
board
no.
cut.
Used to be, if I'm not mistaken, was it before it was 2.5%? That's all. There was 2.5. That was it. They
Yeah.
used to be automatic.
Usually,
It
yep.
was 2.5, no more.
Yep.
And that's what they did. Now they're going 5.
Yep.
They're doubling it basically.
And they're not. They're going presenting it with a smile.
Yeah.
Then the sad part about it is the residents, the taxpayers, are left in the dark.
Yes. We're not going to 5%. I don't think.
I'm not.
I'm not
can't-
either.
I can't get 5% anyway.
You
So-
can't even get it in the bank.
So let's move on, because we have one other issue that I want to talk about, the schools, before we
Okay.
get into the CPA.
Okay.
I attended a meeting that was supposed to be held at Great Oak,
Okay.
and this was for the explanation of the curriculum, reading curriculum for our grades 1 through 5. Now, this is all grammar school stuff. And what I heard at that meeting, and I was a little late because I didn't get the beginning, but the speakers that they had in there were all about LGBTQ, gender changes, and what the hell is going on here, people? What are our school
I hope
department
we don't
doing
have-
to our children?
We don't have that gender queer book in town, do we?
Oh, you.
They were talking about it today on Fox News. I couldn't believe what they were saying about it. I mean, and all the stuff that was in there.
Well, as if you remember, about 3 months ago, I went to the library,
Yes.
and at the library trustees meeting, and I asked the question because the previous weekend they had the, what do you call them? See, that's where I'm getting lost here now.
Not a problem.
But they had this reader.
Come in and talk about the books and stuff that were there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because what I heard today, I couldn't believe what they were saying.
Well, then you've got to ask the question
Yes.
of our own school department.
Right.
And I've
If it's
asked,
happening here, but, I mean,
And
this
I've
was
asked-
nationwide. But I mean, if this is happening here, this is not good.
Tony, I've asked the question of the superintendent at that meeting.
They were talking that some of the books had something about lube
Yep.
things in there. Okay. I mean, my God, come on, we can't.
It's lesbian-based, heterosexual-based.
Yes, that's what they were talking about today.
And it is a wonderment of why is this happening to us?
And they're talking about little kids.
They're talking about the grammar school.
I know, this is crazy. I can't believe. You know what's terrible too? Fox News had it on, and they did it during the Outnumbered. Okay, that was at noontime, basically. Okay. Now the other stations I don't think carry that stuff. Okay, that's the problem. But I mean, what they were saying, little kids going to kindergarten or first grade.
But this is
teaching this stuff.
happening in our own school department.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're talking about
I've asked the question of the superintendent.
something's going to happen.
What
Can't.
is driving this kind of education of our children? And I'm speaking from the standpoint, I'm a grandfather. I have a granddaughter
Right.
that's coming up.
I have, it's
And
true.
the thing is, this has been happening for the last 20 to 25 years anyway. And what the superintendent reported to me is that this is all driven by the State Department of Education and the Federal
Here we go
Department of
again.
Education.
They're giving a little bit of money. They're taking it and they're doing all this baloney.
And the question I have raised in the past at school committee meetings, why are we using this kind of a curriculum? Because the only reason that they tell me is that because they are funded by the State Department of Education, DESE. And the thing is, sooner or later, we all have to stand up and be counted for our children.
Was there a lot of people there, I hope?
What I counted, and I did the count,
Okay.
there was
curious.
50 bodies in that room, in the auditorium.
Is that for favor of it or against it?
There were 50 altogether. They were members of the school department. They were members of the teachers.
Don't tell me they're trying to push this through.
No, this is done. This is a done deal.
Oh, God.
The thing is, this was to explain to the public. And there were parents there. There was DEI director was there. I mean, it is going nuts. And the thing is, we have to address this, and I'm planning
The parents
to go.
have to take care of their children, not the school department.
Well, that's where I think the school department disagrees with us.
I understand
because
that.
they want to take control of our population.
But
This is
we can't teach little kids that don't know what's going on sex education. It can't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm out of.
they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, but
Tony.
not like this. Not these things.
This is getting crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
But I am going to address this issue with the superintendent and the school committee. And we've had Eric Crane over here,
Yes.
and he accused me of being dumb and happy with no sex education, and that's never been to this point.
Oh.
And the thing is, it has to stop.
Yes. I mean,
So,
it's getting ridiculous, man. I
And-
mean, not to
and-
be funny, but I mean, I don't know. I mean,
and this whole thing started, basically, elementary curriculum update. And this was an email that was sent out to parents, only the parents in the grammar schools. See, the thing is that they do not want the whole community to know what the hell is going on in the
seems
school
that way.
system.
I mean, I was shocked today what they were talking about on the news today. I couldn't believe it. I mean, not to be funny, but I mean, my God, I
Well,
really couldn't believe it.
I
What they were
have,
saying and stuff.
I have this,
Talking about lubricants and stuff, I couldn't believe it.
I have this
I mean, my God,
uh,
grammar school.
culturally responsive read-alouds, activism and organizing, family relationships, gender expression, gender stereotypes, and gender identity. This is crazy.
Indoctrination is what it is.
It is. And the thing is, I have looked at some of these books on the internet because they are listed here. And I'll give you the copy of this. But the thing is that the listing of these titles doesn't explain everything. You have to go into the details of what's included in the books. So, that's one thing that I'm working on, and I hope that the audience doesn't get disgusted with this, but this is reality.
I'm
This
hoping
is what's
the
happening.
parents start talking because I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, if you ask me, I mean,
Some
I don't
parents,
know.
some parents have started talking, but very few.
Let me ask you a question. They don't do this at St. Mary's, I don't think, do they?
Not that I know of, no.
I don't think so.
And I've asked the same question of the Essex Tech,
That's what I'm saying.
and they don't do this.
Okay,
So the thing is that we have to step up and cut this thing off because this thing is getting crazy.
no question
So,
about it in my mind. I mean,
The one thing that I gathered from the my meeting that I attended to get the school budget is that we have an increase over the years. I'm looking at 10 years,
Okay.
how this has increased. And I have been reading some material that has been published for the state of Massachusetts.
okay.
There are reductions in the number of students in each school district, but the teachers and the administrators have increased.
I know.
And the thing is, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but there are, all kinds of additional psychologists, nurses, and nurses I can understand if for one for each school, but the psychologists, whatever else they have been driven to a point by the bullying that has happened back in the past. And the thing is, bullying has been in existence forever. But what I gathered from this is that there's a bullying prevention and intervention incident reporting form. They want teachers and students to report bullying in the classroom. What the heck are the teachers there for?
I know.
So the thing is that this is only reported if it's reported by name. And they have to identify themselves.
And if you fill this out, it goes to them, and that's it. No one else can see it, I bet, right?
Usually, you have to really go into the details of this. But this is their method of controlling bullying. Come on, give the teachers some authority of what the heck is going on in their classrooms.
I know. I mean,
What are the teachers there for? So,
there's a lot of things. I don't know. This world really, it's the whole world is totally different. I mean, it starts up at the federal level, but it trickles all the way down. That's what's happening, if I'm not mistaken.
let's move on to the next subject, which is CPA.
Oh boy.
Jack, if you can throw that up, I would appreciate it.
Oh yes.
This is our efforts that have thwarted the position of taxes, of additional taxes that they want us to accept in this town. No new taxes is the motto, again, because this has been tried 3 times. On May 2nd of 2023.
Here's the thing. How much money does the town want out of us? I mean, look, there's a lot of nice people in this town. If you need something, you can get it if it's the right thing. Okay, that I know for a fact. Now, with your, did you get your, I think, your water bill, your electric bill? Did you see
Yes.
the thing that come in for the, they want a donation for Endicott Park?
Absolutely.
Now, that's a good thing, but on top
That's a voluntary
Yes.
situation. Now,
how
that-
much money do they want? I mean, how much?
Well, no, the problem here is that they are running out of spendable tax revenue. And the thing is,
But if you give to this, give to that, give to this, give to that, how much are you going to give to? I mean, at the end,
no, the problem here is that management cannot handle the situation in Danvers. If the management can't live within the amount of tax revenue that is being collected, then they should resign. Because the Board of Selectmen and the town manager have failed us. Because all they're doing is everywhere you turn around, they want money. They want money.
well, that's what it
State is
seems
doing the
like.
same
I
thing.
know, that's what it seems like. I mean,
This is being played as a tax, as free cash basically from the revenue that's being collected on the, what do you call it, the court deed recordings. So what they're,
oh yeah, okay, this is a supplement of it. They
This
give you
is-
something. But it's not that much money, is it, you get?
no, well, what they're asking for, I believe, is 1.5% of your
Right.
tax revenue. They want to
But that's a-
supersede.
It's another $165 or so.
Yeah,
It could be a couple
absolutely,
$100. It
absolutely.
depends. I don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but it's quite a.
Now listen to this.
I'm listening.
CPA collections, tax collections, are for affordable housing,
I know.
preserving historical buildings and open space. Advocates for this override will tell you that the bulk of the money will go to their pet causes, but that is not necessarily the case. The CPA requires another autocratic committee to be formed, and only they will decide how this money is doled out. We already have too much government and too many restrictive committees. This committee is becoming similar to what's going on with the DEI. DEI committee thinks that they're running the town. And they are in some respect in regards to personal freedoms and all that, and racial equality.
Right, they're trying to make, you know.
That's okay.
That's fine.
But this is imposing something that we already do.
Right. And then, I don't know, it just doesn't, it's too much.
See, the problem.
And then you got to get volunteers for this, right? The people that are probably going to be on the committee
no,
are going to be volunteers.
this is appointed by certain
They're not gonna get paid for it.
organization.
They're
No,
not going to get paid.
no,
That's
no,
what I'm saying.
no.
They're not going to get paid for it. They're just going to be there to allocate the money to pet projects.
Well, let me just read
And
one
we keep
more,
on paying,
one more
basically.
paragraph here. The business community has no vote in this matter.
Right.
Yet they will also be burdened with the surcharge by higher fees and rent increases. If we want to maintain the wonderful commercial tax base that helps keep the residential rate low, we need to make sure they do not get overburdened. And the motto is going to be vote no on CPA.
You have to vote no. The reason being is, my God, like if it comes into play, anybody that's renting, you're gonna have to, I guess, pass it on. But how much can you get? I mean, I don't know. Is people really making millions and millions of dollars? I don't think so.
Well, this thing is
I mean,
just,
there's some people do, but not
it's
everybody.
the little bit that they pull out of your pocket.
Right.
That's what it's all about. And the thing is, the town manager and the selectmen have to stop reaching into our pockets
Right.
because they already collect too much taxes.
They get some on the food tax, right? They get a little bit from the food
Yes.
thing. Okay, motel tax. They get a little bit of that.
Right.
Our excise tax.
Excise tax.
Excise
yeah.
tax.
Yeah, I just got mine.
Yeah,
and
I just paid
it.
mine. All three cars. But I mean, the streets are not getting taken care of, though. That's the problem.
So this CPA proposal is going to be on the ballot. And what I'm trying to find out is how is this going to be presented to the public? Because what I understand
It's not
is,
going to town meeting first, then. Is that what you're saying?
well, it's going to, well, that's what it sounds like.
It can't, no, but it can't if they're going to put it on the
Well,
ballot.
the thing is, they figured out a way
Town
to
meetings after the election.
right.
So it goes on the ballot.
So it's on the election. So they figured out a way to circumvent town meeting altogether.
Okay, so town meeting's not going to vote on this because it's going to go on the ballot.
So we have to get our voices up in arms because the residents don't even know this is going on.
Well, that's the problem.
So public service message, vote no on CPA. And next show, we'll have the question number because it'll be defined at that time. And I'll get the wording for the CPA question.
Is there a committee? They're going to have. Is there a committee for this, like last time? Do you
There's
know?
Mike Powers, David McKenna, and
Well, that's for it.
that's right,
That's
they're
for
out
it.
for it.
But I don't know. I mean,
Well,
how
we
much money
need,
can they keep taking out of our pocket? That's
Well,
the reason being.
we need to establish a residents committee that's against the CPA because residents don't even know that it's happening.
Even with there's too many problems. They have to do a lot of straightening out of this town and stuff like that.
Well, this town will
Honest-
never get straightened out until it becomes a city.
Oh.
And then the councilors will have the authority to make these kinds of decisions.
Now the historic society, right? We have
Yeah.
one, right?
Yes?
And I believe now, if I'm not mistaken, on Summer Street, there's that house that was going to be part of
Yes.
the nursing home there.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to take that house over, but I guess they got shut down now. They went in front of the board the other day, and they're not giving. They can't expand over there. They're not going to let them. Okay, so they pulled out. They pulled out. I don't know what's going to happen with the house now. Supposedly they're looking to take over the house and restore it somehow, but they don't think they have the money. I mean, that's the problem. I think they want the money from out of the CPA for this. Is what they're trying to do, I guess. But how many houses can you take care of?
I don't know. That's something
That's
that
what I'm saying. You see what I'm trying to get at?
it's all done with smoke and mirrors.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And the problem is that we are busy with our own lives.
Right, and we got the housing trust. There's money in that, but
Yes.
not enough for to take care of this either, right?
No, well, it's a matter of how it's handled.
Right.
So, Jack, if you can put up
And if you remember, there was one house that was taken over and they had to give it back.
right,
The one by Putnam Pantry.
yeah.
So I mean, see, things are not.
Well, that one was the maintenance and operations of that house was unfunded by the donation, and the family took that back with the promise that they were going to maintain it as a historic preservation.
And the historic thing, from what I understand, is a lot of volunteers.
Yes.
They're taking so much money out of you today. How can you volunteer? You have to go to work to pay the stuff. I mean, my God. Do you see what I'm saying in a way?
Yeah, I know. Jack, if you can put Albert Einstein on for me, I would really appreciate it because that is very appropriate of what's going on now. Albert Einstein made this statement years ago. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. And we are well on our way because we are being asked to go on the website to get a copy of the budget, to get a copy of the school budget.
First, you got to know how to get there.
Well, that's right, and that's been an issue, and I guess they're going to be doing some education
I
things.
did hear that.
But still, these issues need to be discussed face to face with the elected officials that we have, and they are afraid of the general public. So the budget is available on the website. I'm going to Town Hall tomorrow morning and get a copy from Ann,
Okay.
because there are hard copies available, and the same thing that happened to me, and every year I go through this. Town of Danvers Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. That is an excellent, excellent book that tells you everything that's happened in the town of Danvers, number of employees, number of teachers, number of students, residents, the whole array of town meeting members and all that. So if you are interested in what's going on in this government, I don't think the website is the best place, but try it. But I would go right into the town hall and ask for it directly. We have 13 minutes left, but I am going to proceed to the next item, and I will show the next clip. And this one is more related to our understanding of what's going on. So Jack, if you can put my Speedy Gonzales or I don't know what it is, but I miss the good old days. Remember when you could actually have an opinion without offending somebody. So this
used to be a good cartoon.
it's a great cartoon because it's so relevant to
That's
all
what we
of
need
us.
back. I'm telling you, we need some of this stuff back.
And I'm just going to read a short paragraph, and then we'll go into Beverly Airport.
All right.
It's time for Danvers to speak up with a united voice to tell the education establishment we're watching. And this also applies to the town government establishment because they are fearless. They don't care what everybody thinks. And we want them to stop indoctrinating our kids in radical left propaganda
Exactly.
and the proposals that are being presented to us in this budget. So we need to take a look at it. The indoctrination in our schools is being disguised and needs to be exposed.
Yes.
Same thing with the budget. We need to ask all the questions. And one Saturday is not going to be enough. And I hope that it drags on into the following selectmen's meeting because that's where it belongs.
Well, yeah. I mean, they always used to, talk about it, and they spend a night there and all that. That's how it used to be. I mean, I don't know.
Parents and residents of the community must address or ask for the leadership of our school committee and our government to curtail their spending. We cannot afford all of this spending that is being planned and directed. Technology is not the answer, and we need some direct communications. So the thing is that we are struggling as a community, and we are struggling on many different angles. One of the angles is the Beverly Airport.
Yeah, that's another problem.
We have been dealing with Beverly Airport, so we can throw that clip on there about Beverly. I am fed up with what's going on with the Airport Commission. The Airport Commission is basically non-existent because
Right.
we had 2 commissioners that were assigned to participate and look out for the Danvers residents.
But they're not there for that. That's the sad part. Mr. Henry now at least really is trying to look out for the Danvers right now. Before that, when Mr. Trask was there and everybody else was there, they were looking out for the Beverly Airport. And all the neighbors were sitting behind, left behind.
Mr. Henry is the lone wolf out there, and he cannot accomplish what needs to be done.
No, but at least he's trying to give us a hand and put us in the right direction. He's listening.
The Airport Commission, in their wisdom, has basically abdicated the responsibility for the noise that has been happening out of that airport. Now, they have tried many different ways, but that commission doesn't know what their responsibility
You're right.
is.
No, they know what they're doing. They're giving it to Danvers.
No,
and keeping
they-
it out of Beverly. That's what they're doing.
They're protecting and increasing their revenue stream
yes.
to Beverly.
Yes.
And the thing is that
And we are taking the brunt of all the noise and everything else. We get nothing. They're the ones that are making all the money, okay? They're taking care of their people by not making a noise over there. It seems like it's always over here. If you pay attention, and what I'm talking about, I've been watching this for too many years. They don't fly in Beverly. They fly in Danvers, okay?
That's right.
And the
See-
money goes to Beverly.
That's right. Now, and we don't know how much is really going on
No.
into Beverly
No.
because they don't want to disclose that.
Right, exactly.
They have one town that's getting paid for their real estate taxes.
Yes.
And
Wyndham, for I think 40 acres is $25,000.
Yes.
They cry, and I think they gave them a $5,000 break. They're paying $20,000 for that.
Yep.
And they're crying it's wetlands and all this stuff here, but at least every year they can go up, okay?
That's
And
right.
they got to fight with them, whatever. We don't have any leverage.
see, let me just introduce this thing. The Beverly Regional Airport Commission, as airport proprietor, have the charge of operating, maintaining, and developing the airport with prudence and sound judgment, recognizes its responsibility to the citizens of the city of Beverly and abutting communities.
Right.
We have 170 acres
Yes.
of the airport that's located on Danvers property,
Yes.
and the west side of the airport has hangars, fuel, and
Yes.
operation centers
Yes.
that serve the rest of the airport, and they don't get any revenue.
Right. And a lot of these buildings were built after that thing there. They should have got taxed when they built these buildings, but they didn't.
Well, the thing is, I understand that that is something that is being rectified, but I don't know how far they can go.
Well, this-
Listen,
I'm
let's
listening.
just listen.
I'm listening. I'm not trying to.
Our state representative
Okay. Mrs.
has
Kearns.
introduced a bill that is numbered HD, and I think it's HS,
Okay.
1726.
Okay.
And this bill is basically asking that the land that's located in Danvers, of the 170 acres, be assessed and the real estate taxes be paid back to Danvers.
Okay. That's.
And the thing is that I've had a long discussion with the town manager in regard to this subject. And this is a bill that's been introduced. I don't know, have you heard about this?
No, I heard it from you.
And the thing is, nobody knows what's going on in the background. So what we need to do is we need to ask Sally Kearns to attend
Okay.
this.
And I hope Mrs. Joan Lovely is probably helping out with that too. I hope. If not, we will get her on
Well,
board with
her
that.
name is not on here, that's for sure. And I
Well.
tried to call Joan Lovely
Okay.
and no answer.
All right.
So this thing is more complicated than what we are led to believe, because the complications that I understand that are coming in from the town manager is that currently SESD, which is the Salem Sewage District,
Right.
is asking or have filed a bill
Right. You told
that
me about
is
that.
going to increase the pilot
Okay.
payment to $1 million over the next 4 or 5 years, 4 years. And the thing is that they already receive a $500,000 per year pilot program to compensate Salem for having the facility located in the city of Salem.
Oh, okay.
So everybody's reaching out for money. Here we go
Yes.
again.
Yes,
No,
yes,
the
yes, yes.
tax.
But here, now, Mr. Spiliotis looked into this a while back. I mean, he said it can be done. It's got to be legislative action to get to that. Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, but
And that's
if-
where Sally is trying to do with this
yes,
bill.
and we have to. Sally is very good. Okay.
But you see, the bill that has been filed by, I believe, Senator Lovely,
okay.
is for Salem.
Okay.
So she's a Salemite.
Okay. So maybe we can get her to help
Well,
Sally to get.
Maybe we should send an email to her because
Okay.
I can't get her on the phone. It
Okay.
never answers.
All right.
And the thing is, I may call her at the State House.
No problem.
But this is more complicated because we already have pilot programs for the reservoir,
I know. How much we get for that? Do you know?
$150,000 a year.
That's all.
That's all.
Come on.
That's where this whole thing is on not what you know, it's who you know.
I know. That's the problem, and we keep paying and paying and paying.
So what I would encourage, and I spoke at the last selectmen's meeting
Yes.
last Tuesday,
And you did a good job.
that we need to pursue these matters because the town manager is not going to do it by himself,
No.
and the selectmen are
Well,
vacant,
I
basically.
hope they help us. The only one that we have now, Mr. Gardner Trask, I think he works for Beverly. I swear to God, I don't think he's watching out for the town of Danvers.
Well, he better watch out because he's been around as selectman for 17 years.
I know.
Somebody's got to bounce him out
yeah, someone's got
because
to. I don't
who
know.
the heck is he reporting to?
I think he's got to recuse himself on this. He used to be an airport commissioner. He never
But
did
he
anything back
already
then.
made his statement publicly.
Well, you
and
heard that statement?
Yeah.
Was that a statement for Danvers?
No.
I didn't think so either.
No.
That was a statement to help Beverly.
That's right. And
Where
and
does he live? Does he live in Beverly or live in
I
Danvers?
don't know. He lives on the hill down by the.
So he's so he
Old
lives in
hospital.
Danvers and he's a
Yes.
selectman in Danvers. So he's supposed to be helping Danvers.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, we need to get him. I
You're
don't
not
know,
gonna
he-
change that guy's
He'll
mind.
never change.
That
right.
guy's mind. That head is boom. If it's stuck on something, it's not moving. Not even with a stick of dynamite will make it move.
Well, I have been also advised that our airport commission has hired a new manager,
Yes.
and this gentleman is.
Do you know if he accepted?
I
supposed to
don't-
be the one
I
out of,
don't know. All I have is this article, and
Okay.
the commission doesn't talk to anybody.
No, and there's two more commissioners out of Beverly leaving too. Okay?
That's right. So
It's a mess over there. We've already talked to a couple, but the ones we talked to are leaving already. So now you got to start all over again. It's a mess, man. It's a mess over there.
well, the thing is, this gentleman is I guess, a safety manager or something manager at the.
Small airport in Illinois. That's the one that they hired. Is that the one that you checked off on your thing?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Everybody seemed to like him, but the credentials, if you read it, didn't look too good. So I don't know what I'm missing.
the thing that I have been pursuing is that the manager is not going to help us as residents of Danvers.
No, he's going to help
He
Beverly.
is going to pursue and get ready to support Beverly Airport for Beverly.
Right, but
But the thing is that we have to introduce, and one of the things that I've talked to the town manager already on, is that we need to develop a plan to convert the current Beverly Regional Commission to a airport authority, which will give the town of Danvers, Beverly, and Wenham
some
a
say
voice.
in what's going on.
That's right.
Heavy into it. We have to do something. There's no question about
we
it.
need to get rid of the influence of the mayor of Beverly. And the Beverly thinks it's owned, the airport, but it's a federal property.
And if I'm not mistaken, the FAA too also, when the three communities own it, okay,
Yep.
they're supposed to share in everything, okay? Right now, we are getting taken advantage of. Okay?
That's right.
There's no question in
We're
my
not
mind.
getting any money
Right.
out of it. So, Tony, thank you for the discussion, and I hope you come back because this has been great. These are issues that
Oh,
really
there's no question in my
concern us.
mind. Yes, we are paying heavy taxes.
So
in the
good
town of
night, Danvers, and we will be back on,
We need relief.
2 weeks from now.